Hey Bulldogs, Principal Abels here. Happy Friday to you all, and I want to thank all of our Bulldog students for making stars for veterans and their families and friends and people they know. And also a big thank you to our veterans out there. Thank you for your service. And to all of our military families at North Lake, thanks for supporting your loved one in the armed forces. So thank you, and hope you veterans had a great Veterans Day, and have a good weekend, Bulldogs, and we'll see you next week.
Hey Bulldog, so I interviewed Mrs. Allen, our school nurse, on why she joined the Navy. She was in the Navy December 1983 through 1987. She joined the military because she wanted to do her part and make a difference in the world. A life lesson that she learned being in the Navy was it doesn't matter how you do it, it's what you do. And some things she wanted to share about being in the Navy is that she loved being in the military. She loved being able to see the world, and that it builds long-lasting friendships. And what she thinks about the Veterans Day in general is that is just a good day to celebrate.
Like that's right. Hey everyone, I'm Captain David Rothged. You might know me as Mr. Rothged. I'm a PE teacher at Northlake. Before I got here, I was in the U.S. Army. So when I was in high school, I was kind of screwing around in a study hall, and there were some forms to fill out for ROTC scholarships. And 3 of my buddies and I all filled out the forms kind of as a joke. We mailed them off and we all got scholarships. So what that meant for me was I was a kid that family had no money to send me to college, but I wanted to go. The Army paid for my 4 years of college. The school, St. Lawrence University, if you were to go today, it'd be in that $60,000 to $70,000 a year price category. So the Army paid for me to go to college. I was in school but did some Army things. I went to Army Airborne School while I was in college. I went through my basic training while I was in college, and then I went into the Army. My first assignment after my officer basic course in Oklahoma, I was a second lieutenant there, and I learned how to blow things up in artillery. And then I went to language school in Monterey, and I learned how to speak Turkish. So a little bit of Turkish is like this. Eğer Gunya'da gitmek istiyorum, Türkiye'de gitmek istiyorum. I think that's, if I could go any place in the world, I'd like to go to Turkey. So I was in Turkey for a year and a half, and then after that I went to Germany for 3.5 years. So total of 6 years in the Army, and it was a wonderful experience. So Army, artillery, then I was branch transferred to military intelligence, so I was the guy that kept all the secrets. I think the thing that I learned most about my Army experience was really how to be part of a team. They're some of the brightest people I've ever met in my life that were working with me in the military, and they were sharp, and we worked together as a team. It was a true brotherhood. There were females too, but it was a brotherhood in that sense of the word, where we all worked together for a common cause. We believed we had an enemy we were fighting against, even though there was no war, but we worked very hard to be prepared if something were to happen. The final end of my tour in Germany was an interesting time. If anybody knows anything of the world, there's a country in Europe called Germany, and that's where I was stationed. And Germany at the time I was there was broken down into East and West Germany, and there was a literal and figurative wall through the country. So it was communist on one side and then democratic on the other side. Well, while I was there, our President Reagan then talked to their leader Gorbachev, and he told him to tear down the wall, and we did it. So I did not go to Berlin, but I went to the countryside where I had German friends, and there was a wall going through their farmland, and it divided this family from East and West Germany, and they would talk to each other. They'd climb up on a ladder and talk to each other, but there was a tank down the road, and just to keep them in line, and they were not allowed to pass back and forth over that wall since World War II. So when the wall came down, I went to that little town in Western Germany, and we tore down the wall on that farm so the family could get reunited. It's very cool. Our duty mission as a military operating base of artillery to fight the Soviets coming across the border became then a humanitarian effort, and we housed refugees. When that wall came down, we had hundreds and hundreds of East Germans flooded across the border, and our job was to give them housing, give them some money to get going, try to find them jobs, and make them feel safe and wonderful in what was West Germany. If you went to Germany today, it's all one big country. It's unified. and I was part of that. Kind of cool.
What is something you learned while you were in the military?
I think what I learned was the hard work part. I knew hard work from being a cross-country runner. I was used to working and running every day, but that commitment, when you're in the Army, it's not like a regular job where you go to work at 7 o'clock in the morning, you come home at 5 o'clock at night, or whatever your hours are for your shift. You're on call 24 hours a day. So if there was a job to do, you stayed until it was done. If they called you at 2 o'clock in the morning, say we have an alert, we're rolling out in the field, you had to be there. I'd be there in an hour with my A, B, C bags, and we were going to war, and that was the scenario. And like you guys practice fire drills and earthquake drills, if we were going to war, you brought all your war gear, and you went out in the field, and you stayed out until they told you to come back in. Sometimes you're out for 14 hours, 15 hours, sometimes you're out for 3 or 4 days. And that could happen at any time. We went to Grafenwehr firing range for live firing, so when I was on brigade staff, I was a brigade S2 intelligence officer, security manager. Someone from brigade had to be out there whenever we were at the firing Grafenwehr. So I would be out there maybe a week or 2 out of every month that I was stationed in Germany. It was a lot of camping. It was fun. I really enjoyed it because I was young, healthy, and fit, and I have some of my best friends from life were there with me, and it was a great experience.
Is there anything else you would like to share about your time in service or about the veterinarian thing?
I think that you should all thank your family members who are veterans. It feels good when someone acknowledges that. It's not a large percentage of the population that actually commits to that. For me, I did because my dad and my brother were both in the military, so in my mind it was a common sense kind of thing. Plus they paid for my college, so it was fair that I went in and I did my commitment to pay back. I loved every minute that I was in there. I loved the travel experiences, and it's nice to hear from you people that come up and say, hey, thanks for your service.
Good advice. Okay. When were you in the military, and what branch of the military were you in?
I was in the United States Air Force. I enlisted right after I graduated from high school in 1976, and I stayed active in the Air Force until 1982 in the Air Force Reserve.
Cool. Why did you join the military?
I joined the military because I didn't know what I wanted to do after I got out of high school. My parents wanted me to go to college, and I didn't want to take their money to go to college when I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I enlisted, that was the last year of the old GI Bill, which helped pay for your college after you got out of the service. And so I was able to grow up for a little bit and then use those benefits to help pay for my college education.
What is something you learned while you were in the military?
I learned how to take care of myself while I was in the military. I learned how to be self-sufficient. I learned how to do my own laundry and shine my own shoes and follow routines and work as part of a team. I had many, many great learnings while I was in the service.
Is there anything else that you'd like to share about your time in service?
Sure. I just want to emphasize about the importance of giving back to our society and serving our society. I had a chance to do that while I was in the military, and the benefits that I've received from that have far outweighed any negative aspects of what I experienced while I was in the service. So it's sort of an idea of giving back to your community, but then also in getting benefits from your service.
Yeah. Yeah, is that it?
That's it.
Great.